Hello, chosen ones. How's everybody today? That's great. My name is Solo. uh, I've been inspired by the Most High God to speak to some people who are in the same situation that I have been in for the past 30 years. Uh, to speak to people who may or may not know what's going on in their life and why their lives are so screwed up. You know, why you have so many enemies, why people don't want to give you a chance, why people seem to want to see you fail. Well, I'm gonna tell you, chosen ones. Also, targeted individuals is another term that describes us. Uh, because if you're listening to this channel, you have been targeted, and you know it, and you're chosen. Now you know that too. Uh, First of all, I want to say there's a reason why they hate you so much. There's a reason why they want to see bad happen to you and not good. There's a reason why they want to see you fail and not succeed. And that reason, actually, there's a lot more than one. But the first one is that they know you're chosen. They know that you are talented. They know that you're a powerful, strong individual. And they know that you are not somebody who's just weak and who'll just fall and just go for anything. They know that you've been chosen by God for a very special purpose. They know that your spirit is different from theirs. They know that you are connected to the Most High God. And some of them hate you for it. Some of them are jealous because they're not connected. And the thing they don't realize is the pain and the heartache and the hard work that is taken and is still taken for you to just even maintain your life. You know, all this is the peace. You know, and I need to say as a targeted individual, there's only one reason I have peace, and that's because of the Most High God. Because my enemies work overtime trying to steal my peace. That's their mission. They want to steal your peace. They want to steal your joy. They want you to be sad and hurt and homeless and on drugs and in prison or dead. They really hate you that much. And it's so crazy because you haven't done anything to any of these people. For the most part. You know, we might have some enemies. We might have done some things that kind of piss people off, you know, knowingly or unknowingly. But the thing about this situation is that there are organizations, large, very large corporate organizations, that have put I won't say a contract, but that has an interest in seeing you fail. They have an interest in seeing you time and time again try and try and try and fail. You know, these people, these organizations are very wicked. They're very evil. And they want to see their will done in your life instead of God's will. I'm going to say that again. They want to see their will done in your life instead of God's will. They want to control you. They want you to be their slave. They want to keep you in a situation where you'll never be free, you'll never be happy, and you will never fulfill God's will for your life. That's what they want. And they want you to finally give up and just say, well, what the hell, I can't do it. They want you to give up and just do what they do. They want you to sell your soul. Now, you know, when we say sell your soul, you know, I know many people think about, you know, the devil comes to you and, you know, you make a deal with him and you sign a contract, and which may be true in a lot of cases, you know, and that would mostly be people who belong to the New World Order, people who belong to Illuminati and Masons. That may be true, but what a lot of people don't know is that, you know, when you decide to live a lifestyle that is really not who you are, and you're doing things that are really against your own best interests, against your that goes against every fiber of your being, and you go along to get along, what you're doing then is actually selling your soul, because you're selling yourself out to do and be what these people want you to do and be. Thinking that if you go along to get along, you know, things in your life will be easier. You know, which it may for a certain amount of time, and you may feel, you know, they want you to feel that you did the right thing. So, you know, I hate to say this, but the devil does bless his people. It usually turns out to be a curse. It always turns out to be a curse. Whether it turns out to be a curse in this life or in the next life, you know, it always turns out to be a curse when you make a deal with the devil. You know, I'm brought to mind of certain celebrities, you know, that have been in the news lately, in the past few years, I'll say, that are super rich, ultra rich, you know, and that had their way, lived like kings, actually, for years and years and years, and just had their way and did whatever they wanted to do and messed over people and, you know, did whatever they wanted to do. And just recently, a lot of them have been stopped. Excuse me, some of them have been charged with crimes, and some of them have gone to jail, as we well know. And, you know, I'm brought to mind, this brings for me to mind a scripture that's in the Bible that says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatever a man doeth, whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. And, you know, because a lot of times we're deceived. You know, people think that because you see these people and their life looks good and, you know, looks like they don't have a care in the world and they have no problems. And actually, it's the exact opposite. You know, I was, years ago, probably about 20 years ago, I was invited into the Illuminati, okay? And I decided, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to sell my soul for fame and fortune. You know, I'm just not going to do it. This was about 20 years ago. And I had actually been targeted since I'll say the early 90s. Actually, it was before that. It was the early 80s. But I only realized that something strange was going on in my life in the early 90s. I realized that there was things happening that somebody's hand, something else was making these things happen. And I realized it wasn't God, and it wasn't me. So that only leaves one other entity, and that's the devil. And let me say this, sometimes the Most High God of Israel, sometimes he will let the devil and your enemies, to a certain extent, have their way with you. And part of the reason why is that, for one thing, he wants to see if your faith is strong, and he wants to build your faith. And for another thing is that, when you need protection from these enemies, what does that mean? That means you're going to be in constant communication with the Most High God, because you need protection from these enemies. You know they want to kill, steal, and destroy. You know that you're a target, and they're doing any and everything they can to make you fall. So then, where do we turn? And there's only one place to turn: to the Most High God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That's the only place to turn. And when we're in that kind of situation, it's a blessing. It is definitely a blessing when you realize that you need God, and without him, you can't make it. It's a blessing to realize that you need him. It's a blessing to turn to him and ask for his help and his forgiveness. Now, it may feel like a curse because, you're going through something, okay? Many of us as human beings, we don't just, unless you have really gotten in the habit of being close to God and communicating with God and everything, a lot of us, going through daily life, a lot of people feel like they don't have time for God. They don't have time to pray. They don't have time to, thank him for blessings, and a lot of people live their lives that way, and they seem, from outward view, to be successful. And here's the thing. There is judgment for every man or woman. Some of us are judged on this side while we're living, while we're alive. And we make, excuse me, the smart ones, the chosen ones, will usually make concessions and realize, well, yeah, God, I need you, and we will start to build a relationship with the God of our understanding, who is Jesus Christ of Nazareth, my understanding. And with that relationship, we start to grow. We become more humble, we become more kind, we become more serious about life. And a lot of times, we start to improve our own lives and the lives of others just because we want to do what God wants us to do. Because that's what he wants us to do. He wants to further his kingdom, and he wants us to be happy and successful, and he wants us to make other people happy and successful. Now, happy and successful are two words that are a lot of times are used together, like I just did. But did you know you can be successful and very unhappy? Or You could be happy and very unsuccessful. Now, when I say happy, there's worldly happiness and there's spiritual happiness, which is called joy. Uh, Paul says the joy of the Lord is my strength. And when you have the joy of the Lord, what he gives you is he gives you a peace that surpasses all understanding. And that's one of the reasons why they hate you so much. They just can't, fathom why you can still be happy. Why can you smile? Why you can smile? Why you can laugh? Why you still treat people with, respect and kindness and love. And how can you do that with what you're going through? How can you do that? How come this guy's still smiling, and we're sending witchcraft at him? We're stalking him. We've been in his house and changed stuff around. They've done all that to me. And there's ways, of course, of curtailing that, because I end up, getting an alarm system and cameras, because that's very necessary when you're a chosen one. Because people will try just to snake you, to do things unnecessary, senseless, things, just to throw you off your square, just to get you upset enough where you come out of your character and you do something, you do what they want you to do, which is, maybe to get into it with somebody or do something to destroy somebody's property, or, and these thoughts come to mind. Because I know they've came to my mind. I'm like, man, I want to do something to this person, But, God says to forgive your enemies. Pray for them. Because, there's only one way that I know of to forgive my enemies, and that's to pray for them. That's because even when I pray for them, I may not even really want, for them what I'm praying for. I might pray God bless them. I know I don't want God to bless them, but I need to pray for God to bless them. And in a way, I do want God to bless them. I don't want to see nothing bad. I don't want to see the type of things that they wishing for me. I don't want to see that happen to them. But I have been shown, chosen ones, by the Most High God, that the battle is His. It's not mine. I have been shown that vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I have seen people that were actively persecuting me lose their lives. And I'm not talking one, I'm talking a few people I have seen actually lose their life trying to take mine. Okay, so haters, take note of that. Anyway, by the grace of God, they haven't been able to get me, and there's a reason also, that you as a chosen one can be in dangerous situations. You could be in a situation where they're trying to make you kill yourself. Okay. Now, they won't let your enemies, like your little hood enemies and your little, enemies on the job and stuff like that, they have to have permission to actually just take you out. They have to have permission from higher up, because this thing is a lot bigger than you and me. Okay? God's kingdom is a lot bigger, and Satan's kingdom is a lot bigger than us. I don't know, man. I just want to come on and just spread a little bit of knowledge about this phenomenon, about this situation that we deal with, because I can remember, when I first really realized that I was targeted and that there were outside forces forcing things in my life and making things go a certain way in my life, and that I was, had so many enemies that really just hated my guts. And it was really, really, really hard just thinking that I was the only one in the world going through this, And eventually, through looking through YouTube, I found out that I wasn't the only one. Okay, so you got to realize, chosen one, that you're not the only one. You got to realize that there's people. There may not be another one within 100 miles of you. Because they like for us to be few and far between. So we can't just, comfort each other, readily. So it's so good that we have this platform to come on and comfort each other and help each other through these situations and circumstances we find ourselves in. So it's just really a great opportunity for me just to help and to do what, I feel God wants me to do, and that is to help to enlighten, some people who are in the same type of situation, and to help to offer solutions. A lot of us are chosen way before we know it. A lot of us are chosen. Some people are still in the streets on drugs. Some people are in prison. A lot of people don't really realize just yet that they are chosen, and they don't really realize why they're going through what they're going through. So, with that said, I'm just glad you all are here, and I'm glad to be able to share some facts about this particular situation and circumstance. So with that, I'll sign off, and I hope that this message got to somebody, and that somebody realizes that there is help, and that there is joy in that pain. You just have to know where to find it. And there is a blessing in what feels like a curse. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and y'all be blessed.